Hi, I'm Larry Van Mersbergen, host of the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast, and this is the legend of the traveling TARDIS.
Okay, Dave, did something happen during the intro? Because all of a sudden the music was playing, and then all of a sudden to jump like 5 seconds into the intro. I just want to make sure I saw what
I didn't see that.
Okay, so it just played out right? I was just
As far as I can tell.
The music went like da 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 da, like oh my god.
We're having one of those shows, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I just rebooted my computer. That was great. That was just great. Great. That was useless. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil, and thank you for joining us, all 100,000 of you. Thank you. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that button. Today, we're going to be talking about collecting Doctor Who with our very special guest, Larry Van Mersbergen. He also has a special location on TikTok where you can check him out and see. I believe Larry does a lot of content on stuff that he's collected throughout the conventions, but I'm going to let him explain for it a little bit more into that. So we're going to be bringing in our special guest a little bit later, but let me go ahead and remove the screen so you can see me. And welcome. New camera. I'm hoping the microphone stays on, but I was just like, you know how the doctor like brings stuff up and you know, he's working on the TARDIS, and then all of a sudden just other things that shouldn't go wrong. Yeah, this is what we're going to go in for tonight. So actually, you heard of my co-host. Oh, hey there, Rose Kirby. And you heard my co-host, the lovely Dave Chapman, and I'm bringing him on. If for some reason, okay, I see what's going. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
How you doing there, Dave?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Great. Don't forget to check it.
Glad to take a little bit of a back seat today. I'll be doing some of the production stuff, so if things run a little bit sideways, it's my fault.
Good. I can blame him from now on. Listen, I was just telling
10-minute delay was not my fault.
I was just telling Dave, I said I had to reboot my computer completely. It kind of just like crashed out and it just stopped running, and then I just rebooted it. But it was just like, Dave, and I see you out there, Dan, that Dave goes like, oh, we're going to be running a little bit late, and Dan goes, oh, that's just fine, you know, we understand that. If I run it late, he's the one going like, damn, it's just another episode for the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
And I pointed out that because we knew it was me making that comment, we just know it's your fault.
Never mind. Anyway, speaking of people's faults, there we go. I just really.
Yes, Christian segue.
This is why I'm not producing tonight's show. I don't be blamed. I can produce my show, Spill the Geek Tea, and Tasty Conversations and Tasty Talk perfectly fine. When I come on here,
hello, Poison Ivy. That's right. Don't forget to check out Tom and the gang over at Spill the Geek Tea. And also, I forgot to mention with Dave, Horses on Film, about cowboys, westerns, movies, and stuff like that.
Yes.
Tom, how you doing tonight?
There's a geostorm going on. That's why I said, no, I'm not going to be. Then we got this ice storm coming. It's like, no, this is why I pushed my trip down to Orlando another month. A lot of craziness going on. And then, you know, everything else.
Yep. Meanwhile, back in Florida.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
In Florida. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the ranch, because I got nothing, I can't segue anywhere. Welcome, Sean. How you doing? From our friends over at Our Philosophy Is. How you doing there, Sean? Thanks for joining.
I'm doing well. I'm having a scrumdiddlyumptious day today. And, you know, I wanted to say, Christian, the reason why we don't blame Dave is because in this house, we do not blame Canada. we are keeping good spirits. We got to keep
hate
keep the
you.
blame squarely on the Yanks. You know what I'm saying?
Hate you.
But
Speaking of
yeah, and
scrumdiddlyalcious, don't forget you can go ahead and get your barbecue sauce right now. Email.
there you go.
There's my Gmail. Yeah, I love this. And
Yeah,
use
and
promo
I wanted
code
to say,
Target-
Christian, too, when you had that thing happen with your audio, like everyone should make sure that Christian does not have the silence in his house right now, because you just like lost some time in that intro. Like, I couldn't remember anything for
just
5 seconds.
Jumped,
It's
dude,
like
just like jumped like 5 seconds. I'm like, Jesus. And I just like, I hope that didn't broadcast out. I just hope it's my computer. And it's done it before.
I didn't see it, but maybe you should check your wrist for some tally marks. That's all I'm saying.
I did.
Timeline's
I
changed.
don't like to use Sharpies on bare skin. So that's all I'm saying out there. Speaking of Sharpies on bare skin, I don't know where we're going with that, but she knows where we're going with that. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and bring in our guest so he can be part of the Who Knew News. Let's go ahead and bring in our special guest, Larry Van Mersbergen. How you doing there, Larry? Thank you for joining us. We're all hitting
Hi, thank you.
together. How you doing, Larry?
Great to-
Welcome.
Doing great. Thanks for inviting me here. It's a lot of fun. I love your show. It's a lot of fun to be here as a guest. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm doing great. It's wonderful.
Thanks to you for joining us at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And it looks like there's a whole bunch. It looks like we could spend at least 5 shows on what's going on in the back of you right now.
Yes,
My
probably
goodness.
more.
So we got a nice little show and
There
tell.
could be a whole podcast about it.
I know.
Yeah, actually, there's a show about it, I think. out there.
Really? where can people find it? What's the show called?
The Doctor Who Collectors Podcast. It's anywhere you get your podcasts. We are on everything. We are part of the Doctor Who Direction Point Doctor Who Podcast Network, where you can find a lot of other great podcasts as well. We've been around for about 6 years now.
Oh, cool.
I've been collecting for 45 years. So I thought this was about time to help folks out and give them some advice, talk about what's going on. And, and then along the way too, talk with some Doctor Who actors and, I talk at conventions. It's just a lot of fun.
Now, Larry, we're going to bring in Gadget in a moment for the Who Knew News, but I do have one question for you to start
Sure.
it off. What was the item that was your gateway drug into the next 40 years? What was the very first item that you got that said, okay, this is starting everything?
Well, there was actually 2 items. This was back in 1981. My mother and I were on a grocery trip, and she noticed a comic store next door. So she gave me some money and said, go have fun. And I'm like, awesome. So I walk in the door, and the wall on the one side was all Doctor Who, and to that moment I didn't know they made anything. So I bought a Target book, Day of the Daleks. It was my favorite story, so I bought that. And I had also bought Doctor Who Monthly number 72 with Peter Davison on the cover, and I had no idea who he was. So that was how I started. And then it actually continued in the grocery store. When I met my mother at the checkout, they had the Pinnacle books in the checkout line. So I bought as many of those as I could afford. So it kind of started there. And then just every week back to the comic shop, into the city, to other places like Larry's comic book store in Chicago, and Chicago's Comic Cons and Creation Cons and whatever else I could do. Plus I wrote to folks in England, and it kind of spiraled from there.
You addict. If you're going to have an addiction, I guess this is going to be a good one.
It's a real good one because you feel you feel good about it, because it's for one thing, I think it's preserving history too as well. And also being a collector in the United States is 4 times harder than being a collector in the UK, because nothing was sold here prior to 1981. So it's just And that was part of why I opened a Doctor Who store in 1984. So it was part of that to get, I had a company called Bundles from Britain here in Chicago. This is the original catalog from 86. We launched that store, and it became very successful very quickly. And it ran for a couple of years, and then I sold it to my partner. His name is Gene Smith. And of course, now he owns Alien Entertainment and is the showrunner of Chicago TARDIS. So without all that, that's kind of where it all started.
Oh, well, there's no cure for this addiction. Speaking of no cure, Dave, hit the button. We're bringing on Gadget. So,
all right.
I don't. Oh, this show's going downhill.
Yeah, I think we've been silenced. I think we have been. Because that would explain the show. That would explain the show.
You got a little something up here. You got a little something.
I'm like, well, how many times have we done the opening? Look at this. Look at this.
Please, dear God, don't tell me you use like a permanent marker. I won't be able to explain this to anybody. Yeah,
you don't know theatrical. You do not. You had to see me at all the conventions when I had to pull this off and everything, and every Impossible Astronaut Day and everything. But yeah, don't. When you mention silence, I can play that bit so well. It's hysterical and everything. But we have to start sad because I can't do happy with this sad thing we just found out and everything. But if you guys have tuned into Instagram, and it's upsetting me now and everything because that John Barrowman, you know, he's
Tom. Tom, can you bring in those 2 pictures that are still in the chat that I uploaded there? Could you bring those in if you can? Go ahead, Gadget. I'm sorry if you can.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure I get it right because of everything because it is tearful because everyone knows this puppy. Everyone has seen this puppy, everything, and John Barrowman's child. I'm going to call it his child because I believe that. If you can't have any children, they are your next best thing as children because they could have the soul of the child you were meant to have. But lost his beloved Captain Jack at, I think they said 18 years old, which is very good for a Jack Russell Terrier and everything the other day. And I sympathize with him because my cat, Shadow Cat, same thing. When it was passing away, it was slowly in the arms and everything. And yeah, my heart goes out to him because I would have been all over his Instagram seeing if he needed anything, if he was okay. But if you guys can tune in, it's it's this puppy went with him everywhere. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. And he was getting on in age and he usually stopped bringing him to the conventions and stuff. And basically he waited. And that's what happens when it doesn't matter if they're human, not human, whatever they are, because doctor's not human and everything. They wait for those they love. And I don't blame him for telling everybody because that puppy gave him hope and everything. So from us at Legend Traveling Tourists, we hope that everything is fine at home, everything's good, and that this is just one small stepping stone because maybe this Captain Jack will regenerate into something more.
And I feel really bad for John Barrowman and losing a puppy. I know that God only knows how many fur babies I've lost in my time in the last 20 years I've been in this house. But I was just weirded out that he, for a better term, brought him into the live video. I was just like, I don't think I would ever do that. I'm just like,
you never know when you're distraught. You never know.
Yeah, I know. It was just. What's that?
I said the same thing to you.
Yeah, it was just like I don't know if I would have done that. I think that's just, and you don't know when you're distraught that's gonna.
That's his baby. He was like, that's his baby. That's his child, and I'll see it as that. You know, if anybody else says anything, no, because sometimes the universe don't give us kids, and they give us kids in another way, and these are kids. They don't last as long as some, but they give enough love that sometimes they're better at giving love than some people.
I'm sending mine to college.
There is. Remember, we have school for dogs, school for cats. Some of them are.
I'm sending them I'm sending her to a real college. I'm going to send her to Rollins.
I mean, we train them to be emotional support animals for those that are disabled and everything and stuff. So they're not dumb animals. They are an extension of us in the sense of not a full extension, but they're what brings us hope sometimes.
Yeah.
When we're having like they sometimes like the cat distribution center, they'll show up when you least expect them, and you end up with about 17 cats.
And I think I speak for Larry and all of us, all of our loves, hopes, and prayers for John and his husband. Yeah. And I'm hoping that the only way, I don't like to say it in this regards, but the only way to fill up that hole in your heart when a fur baby leaves you is to refill it with another one who needs love out there and compassion, who needs a life, a new permanent home. So,
and even a senior animal needs some love too, because sometimes people forget about those animals.
So, what
Yeah.
else we got in the new
So
chat?
right, so now we're going to go happy because we have an I don't even know what to call him because I think he's immortal. But
We
Tom
like to think.
Baker is not going anywhere, and
Yep.
today especially he turns 92 young, and he is, as we just found out, still doing Big Finish, doing other things in the process, making everyone laugh and enjoy life because, like he said, what's the expression, Christian? Because I don't want to get it wrong about never growing up and everything that he always used to say.
Never give in, never surrender.
That blew my mind.
Does anybody remember the quote he made in Doctor Who where it's about childish?
You can't be. Yeah. What's
What's
the
the point of growing
life?
up if you can't be childish?
What's the point of
That's it,
growing up?
yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like you grow up, you grow old and bitter. This gentleman is showing you that you stay young at heart, you're living forever.
Mhm.
I actually
And
want
he-
him. I wanted him to do a William Shatner and launch him into space. So
I want him on the show. Like, you know what, Tom, if you hear us, Tom Baker, come on the show.
I would love
You know,
that.
you're more than welcome. Anybody
Thank you,
out there that's
Dr.
got connections, bring them right on.
And Larry,
Alright.
speaking of collections, this
Yes.
particular picture, this is actually mine.
Oh, nice.
Way back sometime in the 80s, I actually wrote
Mhm.
a letter to Tom, and I didn't, I forgot what I wrote into it exactly, but he basically sent out one of his pictures with his signature on the back, and this was what
Yeah.
the picture looked like. So
Nice.
I've got that. I
You
got a
raised me from
signature
mine.
from
Very
Tom.
cool.
What else we
Yeah.
got in the news, Gadge?
Well, those of you that are hoping we don't end up in the wilderness years and everything, guess what? This March, we've got 3 new stories heading to book re-release and everything. We have, make sure I
Hey,
get
Rose.
this right, because we have the first story, which is to be released, is The Aliens of London, which aired back in 2005
Mhm.
and introduced the Whovians to the Selene and everything. The second one is Satan's Pit with the Impossible Planet, so you didn't have to worry about losing out on both stories and everything,
Mhm.
as well. So you're getting like a 4th free book and everything. And the third novelization will be The Time of Angels, which aired in 2010, along with Flesh and Stone. So it's basically you're getting multiple stories in one, and it's not bad and stuff, but it'll keep you guys going until we figure out what's going on with Doctor Who right now. Because even Radio Times has listed how to watch Doctor Who and everything. If you are planning to bide your time to catch up on things and stuff, it's giving you the whole breakdown on how to watch it, how it should be each season. Where, like, right now they say to take Doctor Who season 18 in 1980, then add in K9 and Company in 1981 and do it that way, and then go to the movie. And then it's when it gets jumbled up is when it's the New Who, which is basically 2005 and on. It tells you how to watch that in order, adding in the Sarah Jane Adventures after Miracle Day of Torchwood, as well as the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. And it just goes on and on from there. So if you want a copy of that, you go right to radiotimes.com, look up the article that states how to watch Doctor Who in order, including TV spin-offs. That way you have your books and your shows to watch until we figure out what is going on. And I hate the fact that I can't get this article to open up, but it was basically Carol Ann just basically saying, BBC, it's up to you now. Don't disappoint the fans.
Mhm.
And
Oh boy, we're screwed.
she's the first companion, the one that helped start it all and everything. And she's telling BBC, get off your butts and start figuring this out.
Well, happy birthday, Tom. My goodness, I hope you get another 90 years on the planet. And oh my goodness, I mean, like if I make it to 90, I hope I have the same, not only the same constitution as Tom, but my dad, who hit that wonderful age of I don't give a rat's butt who hears me. You guys know what I'm talking about. You hit that age and just like everything,
The filter goes away.
And the
Yeah.
filter,
is
no,
gone,
there was
yes.
no filter.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Dad, did you really? Never mind.
Never
So
mind.
exactly. So without further ado, let's go ahead and
I'm trying to get this off.
Dave, did you want to go to commercials, or did you want to start somewhere?
We can go to commercials. We got about that. We're a little early, but we're at that time.
Okay, you got it. when we return, we're going to be talking to Larry about the Doctor Who Collectors podcast, more about his stuff. Do you have something to showcase for us?
I always do. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm just
this is from the 70s here. The original Doctor Who comics were released in these little comic. These fold out into newspaper size, but this is from the late mid 70s because Tom Baker is featured as in this issue.
I was about to say that's Tom and Jerry, not Tom Baker.
No, I know what this is. I know what this is.
Oh my
God! I think I've got one I can open up for you here.
Okay.
This has the Doctor Who adventure.
If it's what I did, I saw this in the comic book stores here.
Yeah,
you couldn't touch them. You were not allowed to touch them.
No, and I don't mind opening them up because there's Star Trek in here, and
there should be a bunch of them in there.
Yeah, let's see. Of course, it's probably all the way in the back of the newspaper here. Here we go. Doctor Who. Let's get that up to the screen here. So Doctor Who. Yeah. So this is what came out first. Of course, later some of these were reprinted in the Doctor Who weekly magazines, and I've got all those too. So it's a lot of fun to find these, and it even goes earlier than that because I've got I'm gonna have to put you guys on speaker here, otherwise these are gonna pull my head apart.
You're fine.
Is our these?
Yeah, these were not allowed to be touched in the comic book store.
Now, just in case people are not familiar,
Can you guys hear me?
Still? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I lost my sound. Hang on. I guess I got to plug that back in.
That's okay. I don't want to be the only one.
With makes emotion.
So,
there we go.
Can you hear us now?
There we go. Can you guys hear me again?
yes.
We always could.
Hello?
You couldn't hear us, but we could hear you.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
We might go to a commercial break.
He might be on mute on his headphones thing. You know, he has the volume control on the headphones. He might be mute on there.
He'll go to commercial.
Well, you know what?
I cannot hear anybody for now. I'm not sure what's going
The
on here.
headphones has the volume thing. It might
There
be
we go.
stuck there.
Am I back?
You froze up for a second there too.
Yeah,
Larry,
you're fine.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Actually, if you don't mind me, I have a personal thing to.
I'm having
show
sound
right
issues.
Here. There
Yes,
you go.
that is the other thing I was going to ask about to display.
There you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have over 100,000 subscribers, and we're actually at 106 right now.
Look at that.
And I want my copy.
I just like the fact that when I first got the message about this, it goes, "Oh, we made these things lighter and smaller, and it's not this." I'm just like, "Oh, what a nice way to say you've gone a little cheaper on the award." But yeah, we are so happy about this. 100,000 guys. If you can tell your friends to subscribe, or I think, if I'm not mistaken, just for giggles, the official Doctor Who. The Doctor Who official YouTube channel, I think they're like at 4.5 million or something like that. So we're catching up. We're catching up.
The hunt for 1 million.
Yeah, exactly. At least for 1 million there. So
that'll be Spaceballs 3.
Exactly.
Can Larry still not hear us?
Yeah, I think he's.
Oh boy! All right. Well, Dave, Dave. Let's go to commercial break.
Commercial.
Give Larry some time
I'm gonna put this up here first because that'll do the thing. And I'm gonna hit the wrong button because of course I
why can't I hear anything?
There we go. Can you hear us now, Larry?
Oh, we can hear Larry. Well,
let's
find.
All right,
going
to
some time.
trying to find the commercials here. There we go.
Yeah, maybe you could message him during the commercial or something.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you sent. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused on sewing clothes. The spell stays unspoken, a dark silhouette of a marked man and broken. Right down, I didn't
Are you tired of toxic fandoms? Do you wish we could go back to being happy? So do we. We created the Happiness Patrol to get away from all of the toxicity in fandoms, in life, and so we decided we wanted to do a show about something that makes us happy. And in the first season, that something is Star Wars. So join myself, Cameron, Scott, Jessica, and Melanie on Happiness Patrol at youtube.com/@happinesspatrolshow.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
So what's your favorite Western? Is it this one or maybe one of these? Is it a revisionist Western, an anti-Western, or maybe it's an all-time classic? Whether your favorite Western is in black and white, vibrant Technicolor, a spaghetti Western, a neo-Western, a comedy, or maybe it's only really Western in spirit. Whatever it is, this is the podcast dedicated to determining the top 100 Westerns of all time. Every second Monday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It's Horses on Film.
Hello, my name's Sylvester McCoy. Welcome to the legend of the traveling TARDIS.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name's Christian Basil. Welcome back, everybody. We got special guests, and I'm hoping his headset works. Larry, just nod your head up and down if it works. Please
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now? Larry?
Can you hear us?
Oh, no.
No. The joy of live.
The joy. Yes, exactly. Larry, can you hear us at all?
All right. Interesting.
Okay. So
I don't think Larry can hear us.
I don't think Larry can hear us now, but
I can't hear anything.
Oh no. Okay.
I could hear the music during the break, but I can't hear anybody talking.
Oh
wow,
really?
that's weird.
Yeah, it's plugged in.
Okay.
And it works.
Dave, I don't know what to do.
I cannot hear anybody
The
speaking.
white thing that's on his cord, that on the headphones.
Oh, he can hear the commercials. That's the thing.
That's what I'm trying. I'm wondering if he's got the voice part muted on the phone part. Get it?
At one point,
Testing the speakers works. I can hear that, but I can't hear anybody speaking. I'm sorry. I know my mic's still working.
Oh, that's really odd. That's totally odd. So there's a gentleman. I'm assuming it's a gentleman.
I'm not good at reading lips.
Geostorm. It's the freaking Geostorm that's causing these issues.
Does anyone know Morse code? And you can just.
This is an old cord. It doesn't have a volume on it. The volume's all the way up on my computer here, so we should be.
Where's the headphone?
Because he went from his headset to this. I think he said
it was
going
fine.
to working in the studio.
I wonder if the little white thing, the little thing that's round on his cord.
That's a microphone.
Yeah, that. See if that's blocked or if that's got mute on.
You can hear him, so no. And he's not using that. That's not the.
And his isn't muted.
It's just a microphone. It doesn't mute. He said.
Mark is saying check the sound card, log out, and
it's
log
working,
out.
but I can't hear the talking. I heard all the music during the break. I heard all the. Let me do that. Let me log out and log back in.
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. In the meantime, while Larry is coming back over here, did anybody? I guess we can do a little bit of a show and tell ourselves.
Yeah, should I go run and get my collectibles somewhere?
I'm surprised you don't already have it on standby.
I mean, I already have. Like I said, I got my little thingy here. My other stuff's buried.
I got a great Target. I got a Target book for Christmas. I got probably under from a good friend.
Well, I got a Target book. Well, I'll tell you what. I was waiting for him to come back on, but I wanted to show everybody some of the stuff that I had, and unfortunately, Larry's out. So one of the things that I enjoyed.
Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, Larry's back.
Larry might be back.
I can hear you.
Yay!
Yay!
All good. I don't know what happened there, but hey.
I think it was probably
Joy of
StreamYard
life
being
production.
weird.
Stuff that I'm not insured with.
Or
Okay.
like everybody said, it's the Geostorm. We had a solar flare 4.
Could
So it's
be.
messing with technology and everything.
There's a wibbly wobbly timey wimey thing. I'm
Timey-wimey.
sure.
Mhm.
Wibbly
And if
wobbly,
you're
timey
sensitive,
wimey.
like some people, it affects you, like headaches and dizziness, and yeah.
And sound going out. Absolutely. Well, it wouldn't be a live show if there wasn't a problem, right?
I like it like this. It means
Yeah.
we're real. I don't
we're-
like it if they're scripted.
We're glad to
It's
have you
okay.
back.
I had a podcast interview with a person in Cyprus, Greece, and the power went out, and I couldn't get back to him in time. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, the power went out.
Oh no!
It happens, but no, it's good to be back with you guys. All right, so
I'm just adding
What
this.
are your top 3 rules for
I'm trying not to
using your
freeze.
collection?
Oh, the rules for visiting. I've had people in the room here, including 2 gentlemen who currently hold the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest Doctor Who collection. I've also had a film crew in here doing a PBS interview for the public television in Indiana about Doctor Who. And then I've also had people who just wanted to come up and check it out for themselves and just be lost in the room for a minute. So usually it's the big rule, of course, is don't touch anything unless I invite you to, and and be careful as you walk around.
It's mine. I
Yeah,
look at it. It's mine.
That's mine.
Right, yeah.
But it's and of course be careful with walking around, as elbows can knock things off of shelves, and that could be the end of something. So yeah, it's those are pretty basic.
So, Larry, I have to ask then. I myself am visually impaired. Have you ever had any legally blind people in that room? Because that sounds like we could be hazardous in there.
No, I've never had that, but not hey, it's not. I've never had anyone like that in here. So, but
well, I mean, a lot of people who are visually impaired use canes to tap around. But I mean, I've been in I go to antique shops, for example, sometimes, and it's just you kind of have to do the T-Rex arm thing. Just keep your arms in, because you can't always see what's on the side. Do you have any things that could be knocked off easily?
Yeah, actually, I do, but it's just because of the limited space that I have, and it's some of the things are stored outside the room in archive boxes. I've got the Target books don't all fit on that shelf. There's more that go in the later ones I've got in a box, but and then of course behind me are stacks of boxes that have all the magazines, Radio Times, and books that don't really stand on a shelf very well, like thin paperbacks and things like that.
Right.
First of all, Sean, don't feel bad. I'm a bull in the china shop, and I can feel okay.
I'm mad. I've got the hardest teapot sitting right here, and I can't get it out because it's wedged. Because, like I said, I'm fixing the apartment.
Right.
If it's fragile,
right here.
it's doomed. That's all I'm saying. If it's fragile, it's doomed out.
Because you said the arms, T-Rex, like I said, oh wait, you reminded me. I have a teapot.
Well, that I relate to that though, Larry, because I mean, when I was younger, I had this really nice thing I built. It was a giant Lego set of something, and I just finished it, and I put it. And some of those things, you know, it doesn't matter what they are. If they're top heavy and fragile, like sometimes there's just no safe place to put them unless they're really high up. And my older brother, like as soon as I finished it, just bumped it off the table with his backpack, and it was never
Yep.
the same.
Yeah.
So I know that, and
It
your
can
stuff
happen.
is infinitely more precious than that. So like that feeling, I relate to that.
A lot of it is just plain old, and that's and some of it's delicate, and I usually it's especially like the talking Daleks from the 70s. They have to have a little
Oh my
oil
God.
before they'll talk again.
Mhm.
K9, you know, those motors freeze up, and which is actually great for collectors, because if you buy one that's broken, it's probably not broken. It probably just needs a little 3-in-1 oil, and you're good
Right,
to go.
right.
But
Yes, exactly. Yes.
but and some of the stuff was not built very well. I have a Bagatelle game from 65 that it's a plastic little, like, pull the plunger and get the balls in the slots kind of thing, and
Mhm.
it's extremely delicate because there's a crack in the plastic. I mean, it was from 1965. It's been played with
Right.
and probably broken and put back together. So that's the nature of collecting things that were, you know, 60 years old at this point. So
Right. I mean, vintage game console collectors as well. What you said about them being broken. I mean, like sometimes people will put things in shops and they're like, "Oh, this doesn't work anymore." They'll sell it at a discount. And it's like if you know how
Yeah.
to fix it up and get it to work, it's like, hey, you just got a great deal on something, you know?
Absolutely. I got all my talking Daleks for under $20 because they said they're
Wow.
broken, just used for parts. And I'm like, I bet I could get him talking again. And I got them all talking. So it was,
Nice.
it was great. And the K9s are tougher because a lot of times you buy them, they made this mistake of making the record, like you could pull the record out and turn it over. Well, if you can pull the record out, that means the record can be lost. And so a lot of those K9s don't have records because kids took them out, they're lost, they're gone, they're broken. So I got lucky to get a K9 with a record. But
Me too.
that's just how it is. And of course, in the United States, none of those things sold here. So everything had to be imported. And that's, you know, that's the nature of the Doctor Who collecting prior to 81. Everything that was produced before that had to be imported.
Was that when it was picked up by a lot of local PBS stations?
PBS, well, in Chicago, it started in 1975. That's when I started watching it. And
Okay.
But merchandise didn't come to the place until about 1981. And we did have a convention in Chicago in 79, but there were no dealers that had anything because it was basically comic book dealers. And they had the Marvel premieres. That was about the only thing you could buy from Doctor Who. It was in 81, there was an import. You could import some of the books, but they were really expensive. Like the first Target book I bought was $4 because they had to import it directly. And then a year or two later, Lyle Stewart opened up in New Jersey and was able to get those Target books down to $2.50 because they bring them in by the pallet load and do that. So that's basically what happened during the 80s. It kind of became a huge explosion of Doctor Who merchandise that was introduced to this country, and people just went for it.
Right. And I don't want to like take up too much of your time just with this like one line of questioning, but
go ahead.
But I wanted to ask, like, you talked about some specifics there, obviously, but what in general, like, what do you think changed in the early 80s? Like, what do you think, was it culturally, like what flipped that switch where there was more merch available in the States, whereas you couldn't get it as much before?
Well, a company called Lionheart got the distribution rights to the Doctor Who stories from basically the existing color Pertwees through the end of Tom Baker, and they blitzed the sale of those to over 300 TV stations in the country. So fandom picked up probably around 81, 82. And then, of course, the United States getting the 5 Doctors first in 83 was huge, too. So it kind of built a big momentum. And of course, the convention, the small conventions turned into like in 84, we had the largest convention in the country here in Chicago, the Spirit of Light TARDIS 21 convention, where I met Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee, and Tom Baker was there. And it was just a huge, I mean, thousands of people came for that. and it just became a huge thing. And when I opened up my Doctor Who store, I said, well, we got to get in on this. And so we started importing Doctor Who from England and getting it from distributors. And we had a table at TARDIS 22 in Chicago, which was in 85. And that's where our business exploded, because in one weekend we made $20,000.
So like that market was kind of just there waiting to be tapped, basically.
And stuff that nobody had seen before. I mean, we brought in, my company had the hardcover books that were released by W.H. Allen, and we got those from Lyle Stewart. Nobody else wanted them. So we had them on our table, and people were like, wow, I've never seen this before. Give me 10 of those, that kind of thing. It was cash. Of course, back then it was all cash. I think we took one personal check, but nobody took credit cards yet. It was just one of those, but it was all cash business back in the day, and people were just really clamoring for the Doctor Who, and it was huge. I mean, it's just really huge. I can't really say that lightly. People wanted their Doctor Who merchandise, and they said, where can I get it? How can I get it? And that's why when I opened up the shop, we did a mail order company. I showed it earlier about to grab it here. The Bundles from Britain catalog from 1986. This was hand drawn by the late Bill Eubanks. He was a artist and cosplayer, and his cosplay of Davros appeared in the 84 merchandise special for Doctor Who magazine. So, but he hand drew all the doctors on this catalog. And so we put this, we probably put about 500 copies of this catalog out throughout the Midwest and beyond, and just the business took off. We were fulfilling orders every day.
That's really cool to hear about, because I mean, back in 1981, I wasn't even thought of yet, right? So I mean, I'm kind of a latecomer to knowing about Doctor, but I do consume a lot of classic Who, and I do watch a lot of footage of the earlier Doctors talking about. I mean, I remember watching John Pertwee talk about the American fans and how they kind of like that the Doctor Who production is a little bit cheaper, and how he was surprised how well received he was there when he went to cons and stuff. So it's really cool to hear about those earlier days of selling the merch and kind of how it exploded during that time. That's really interesting.
And I have a really good John Pertwee story. At that 85 convention in Chicago, Saturday morning, the doors opened to the dealer's room. The first person through the door was John Pertwee. And he walked up to our table and he said, look at all this stuff. And picked up a copy of the Cave Monsters and said, I like this one. This likeness is good. And then later I'll bring my copies of my book, Moon Boots and Dinner Suits, and you can buy that from me directly. And so he did. He came back later, and I bought a hardcover copy of that book, gave him $20. He signed it for me. I met my idol, because that's the first Doctor I ever watched on TV. He was the nicest guy, just absolutely and just blown away by the dealer's room. Because that was part of his, and of course, the funniest part was after he was talking to us, his handler found him and said, Mr. Pertwee, your autograph session started without you. Really? Who's signing my name? So he was just,
these are what you got to start writing in a book. Yeah. You have to write these stories down in a book and everything.
Well, my story is in a book. The book is called Fantastic. Let me grab one off the shelf and I'll show you real quick here.
Really? Who's signing my signature?
I'm not going to unplug these because then I won't hear you again. But it's called Fantastic. It's a collection of Doctor Who stories. Over 100 Doctor Who fans contributed their stories to this book. Mine is in there as well.
Nice.
Produced by Zeppo Publishing.
Is that available? Is that digitized, or is it only print only? Or?
You can get it in Kindle format, but you've got it in paperback or hardcover on Amazon or anywhere you can get books.
That's so great to hear too. I am John Pertwee's my favorite Doctor. So
later in the convention, I was going back up to my room, and he was in the elevator in full Wurzel Gummidge costume and character. Oh no, the Scarecrow has control of the elevator, and he pushed all the buttons. And some people that opened the door and saw him and said, I'll take the next one. Because not just Doctor Who fans were at the convention, but I was in the elevator the whole time. And the funny thing is, I was telling that story at a convention on a panel for John Pertwee. And I said, unfortunately, this was a time before phones, so you just have to take my word for it. And a guy sitting at the other end of the table said, hold on, I was in that elevator. I was there. I know that happened. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's great. I'm like,
so was he there was he there at the con to be
Yes.
like the third Doctor and Wurzel Gummidge as well?
Yeah, because they showed Wurzel Gummidge in the dealer's room. It was the first time anybody in America had ever seen Wurzel Gummidge with John Pertwee, which is great. But he put on the full costume and did a Q&A, and then later he was, of course, the very famous water gun fight broke out there between him and Patrick Troughton. I was in the front row for that. It was a great time to be.
Where was that held?
Chicago, the Hyatt Regency Hotel downtown Chicago back in 1985.
I think I know a few people who have pictures of the water gun fight.
Oh, they're floating around. Yeah, people had to take the picture and then take the film to the drugstore and wait
4 weeks for it. Yeah,
but that was and then the autograph lines were a little bit hectic. They would all be sitting at tables, and it was just a free for all who you're going to. So a lot has happened because my partner, who was Gene Smith at the time, he said, if I ever run a convention, I'm not going to do it this way. And of course, he runs Chicago TARDIS, which is very organized and it's wonderful. And you guys should come up to Chicago and be there with us next November if you can. It'd be a lot of fun.
Eventually, I'd love to make it down for that because I'm up in Canada, so it's a little bit different trip. I'm in Western Canada.
Oh, gotcha. What is it called? Yeah. Did you say Chicago?
Chicago TARDIS.
Chicago TARDIS. Okay.
It's been around since 2000.
Yeah.
Last year we had I did 2 main stage interviews. I had Carol Ann Ford and Katie Manning on the stage and Steph Diwali. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Katie Manning played my favorite companion during the Pertwee era. So it's just
I still think it's Sally Sparrow. I think she got sent back.
Oh, she's great too. I've known Katie Manning since 1984. When I met her there at the convention, she gave me her address and said, "Write me." And so we've been writing back and forth until she joined Twitter a few years ago, and we still continue to talk. But she's a wonderful lady, and I call her a dear friend. She's really wonderful.
We've had her on the program here as well in the past, so by all means, give her a twice. Yeah. Give her a hello from all of us.
Of course, and she'll know who you are. Absolutely. It's a lot of fun to be in that world. Just it's been just a roller coaster because I know we had even during the Wilderness years we still had the Who USA tour. We had Doctor Who on TV for a good portion of the 90s, and it was just a great time. To be in Doctor Who, selling Doctor Who, collecting Doctor Who. It was even better if you own a Doctor Who store. It's real easy to collect. You just order one extra, take it off the shelf, and
that gets you in trouble.
Well, it does. But my old partner Gene owns a company called Alien Entertainment. That's DoctorWhoStore.com. If he finds something in the warehouse that is from our old days, he'll write me and say, "Hey, are you interested in this?" Because he found something from the old days that I couldn't buy back then, but I just showed it on TikTok. I'm going to see if I can reach it without unplugging my headphones here. And that's the Doctor Who photo album from 1984. We had these in the shop in 19. And basically it's not much. It's just the Doctor Who logo with that, and it's just a photo album. Yes. But these were licensed, and we couldn't get very many. Only 500 of these were made, and so I couldn't buy one because we had a rule. If it was a limited stock, we couldn't take it. But he found one of these in the warehouse and said, "Hey, do you want it?" I said, "Yeah." I wanted it 45 years ago.
Well, this was $1 in FYE when they were closing down, and I just looked at the bottom now. I didn't realize it's numbered. The only reason I got it for $1 was damaged because someone dropped the box.
Yeah, and they came in 3 colors. They came in gold, tan, and red. So, and this one is still brand new. It's got the plastic on it. And
Wasn't there a blue one?
No blue.
They were never made a blue one?
Never made a blue one. Only 3 colors.
Larry, we've got some questions for you in the chats from the Candyman himself. What's the most unusual, weird Doctor Who collection piece? Mine is the 9th Doctor, 10th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver label as at the 11th Doctor screwdriver. So
that's a good question. I'm not sure. Let's see. What's the most unusual piece? Probably let's see. Hang on.
Dave, we'll take another commercial break while he's looking for this. Oh, there we go. What do we?
It's an old piece, but you'll love the artwork on this. This was a baby Dalek play from 1965. And check out that artwork. Yeah, and there was a whole set. I mean, there was teacups, there were dishes and that, but they're very hard to find now, but they did a whole set of these during Dalek Mania. So it's I mean, I don't know if that qualifies as unusual, but I find it unusual. It's one of those. I mean, I've actually did a podcast show. They did a Doctor Who coffin back in the 90s. You could be buried in one of those. There was a Dalek weather vane that came out for a while. But there's a lot of interesting things.
I have the Dalek pillow.
I did the coffins and more. That's the actual coffin. I got that picture from David J. Howe.
Oh my God.
I don't know. And I mentioned it's real. Yeah. That's a real.
No, what's that on the side? It looks like it winds up something, or is that just a strap?
Those are the handles.
Those are the handles.
Oh, the handles. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for your 6 friends, you know.
I would pay money if I could have Daleks shipping me out on. They just carry a bunch of Daleks just carrying me out.
Now, when I did get to attend the funeral of Chris Achilleos, because he was a dear friend, and he did have a Dalek honor guard at the crematorium. So it was my first Zoom funeral, and just a very moving service. And Chris was a wonderful man. He was supposed to be on my show, but he didn't tell anybody about his cancer. So, but he had a Dalek honor guard. So yeah, he went out with an exterminate.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the coffins were interesting. There's just, oh gosh, there's so many things out there. And I try to find the unusual if I can, but usually it's, you know, if I see something, I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. I'll take. Oh, I do have a Doctor Who label maker. That is pretty unusual.
Oh, what?
It's not unusual to have a Dalek.
Dave, I think we're gonna have to spend
the
next 8 episodes
it's a Dynamo label maker with the Doctor Who logo. It is licensed. You just feed the thing in there and you click the labels through and move the thing for the letters. But that's fairly unusual. It never got sold here.
You'd think it would be in Gallifreyan.
I wonder if it was part of a stationery set. Like they must have had like pencils, things.
There were pencils. I have a Dalek pencil, but that was from '65. This is from the '80s because of the logo. You could the logo's kind of faded, but and there's no date on it. But the best we could determine was 1981 or 80, possibly. Only sold in the UK. I came across this. Somebody had it on their. It was a toy dealer had it on his site, and I'm like, okay, that looks cool. I'll take that.
I'm still disappointed it's not in Gallifreyan. It's really
that would have been cool.
Christian, I want to.
Has the alphabet plus a couple of dots and dashes. That's what.
What's up, Sean?
Christian, I wanted to also acknowledge something that you said a minute ago. I didn't really respond, but I was kind of surprised. I did not know that you guys had Katie Manning on this show. I think that must have been before I joined you guys.
That was before
way before.
Yeah, it's like I need to go back and I need to get a TARDIS and go back in time.
Actually, the episodes are online, but I just like the first episode. And I'm sorry, Larry. I got to tell this story. The very first episode. Remember, during this time we were in Zoom, and this is way before StreamYard, so we had to record it in Zoom, download it, and put it in audio format at the time. And Katie, when she had to sign in, she had to do one of those things where she, it's like find the buses or, to prove that she's human.
Oh, capture.
Yeah. It's like, look at the motorcycle. Well, she's myopic. So she's like, I couldn't get in. So she was like 10 minutes late trying to get in the studio.
Oh my God.
Because she was having issues with it.
As like, if anyone works for, I'm sorry, Larry, we'll get back. If anyone out there works for anyone who is involved in the higher ups of CAPTCHA, please know that blind people exist, and like we're human. I promise.
I've already yelled about being dyslexic.
Apparently, if you're trying to get in, but I think it's really cool that you guys had.
that you're human.
You know what?
I need proof.
I ask myself that every day.
Oh, there we go.
No, but it's really cool that you had her on, because she is like my favorite. Pertwee is my favorite era, and she's like my favorite companion from that era. And like I've seen her do interviews and stuff, and she's always just like really lovely. You know, I would love to meet her someday.
If you think that's bad, the second episode that we had her on, she was having issues with her camera. And we also we were interviewing Tim Treloar, and I convinced Katie to come on and be part of the panel to interview Tim. But the problem is her camera is not working. So Tim had to sit there with a cell phone the whole time and right up to the microphone, and Katie was there. And that's how we had Katie onto the show. So I mean, like, and she's interviewing. It was just like, oh my god!
So you had the drone. You had the drone footage.
We had the drone. Yeah, we were just being entertained. We had to sit there with Katie. Could only talk through Tim's equipment. So I'm like, oh boy, yeah. But it was hysterical. It was one of the best.
It was a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that detour, Larry. But I had.
That's
I
okay.
had to,
That's all right.
I had to
No problem.
Larry, you mentioned you've got some really unusual stuff there. You also mentioned that you've had the world record holder in your
Yes,
collection.
I have.
Going through
Yeah.
your collection.
Ian, right?
Do you have anything that he doesn't have, and did he try and acquire it from you?
Yes, he actually took a lot of pictures of things like my outer space, my Patrick Troughton Walls Ice Cream space book. He didn't know about that or any of the cards that went with it. And so I had all the cards and all that, and the Dalek card, cigarette cards too. He didn't have that. One of the TARDIS tents I had, he didn't have. But yeah, they went through the whole process of cataloging and counting. It took many months of hard work, and they could only work 4 hours at a time. And it was a big, Guinness was very strict, and then they finally got it, and now they're in the book, and they're from Bourbonnais, Illinois. William and Lee Thompson. It's a father and son duo. Great guys. They've been on my show before, and they've been in the room here with me. So it's interesting to talk to people who've worked through the same type of thing, but they did it in less time than I did. I've been doing this since I was, 10 years old or so, but they've been doing it for the last 5 or 6 years and accumulated over 21,000 items. So,
How
and
short
I don't
are
even,
you from the record?
I don't even know, because I never counted. And I might have more, I might have less. I don't know. It depends on it depends. The Guinness had rules too. So without running afoul of the Guinness gods, 2 copies of a Target book might count if one was different than the other, like for say a price difference or a printing or a cover that could count. But some fanzines do not count. Fan made items did not count. Everything had to be licensed in some way.
Okay.
If the item was licensed but doesn't have licensure on the product, it didn't count.
Oh,
Really?
wow. So they're real strict about that then.
Yeah, because I have a folder that I acquired that is licensed but doesn't have any licensure information on it because it was used internally.
It was a demo. It was basically in-house.
Right. And I also have an item.
I have a few of those items around here.
I have a book that was produced by the BBC, and only 7 of them were made as a test, and then they never made them. So they don't count, because while they are real, they are licensed and probably very valuable. They don't count because we can't find them anywhere else.
They weren't distributed to the public.
Right. There was a private thing. I got it in the mail saying, "Hey, this is a great idea." It was called the Target Collection, and they included a brand new hardcover book of this Target book with a reversible dust jacket and a magazine with the story. And then they said the cost of creating that would have been 8 times what the subscription price would have been. So they said, "Nope, we're not doing it." So
that's really interesting. I've never actually heard that before, but I didn't know those rules were so strict. But I know for a lot of collectors, especially, sometimes the unlicensed things, or even sometimes with depending on what the IP is, the bootlegged things can almost be more interesting than the official things that everyone kind of knows about more. I mean, is that kind of the case for you? Or
yeah, I've got a couple of those. Hang on, let me grab them. They're a little off the reach here, but
sorry guys,
these 2 books were were made by fans. Like, for instance, this hardcover edition of Survival. This looks it looks genuine, but Virgin Publishing never made it. So it's not very well made. And then someone else actually tried to copy the coveted first edition of the Loch Ness Monster, including the blue type, but it's extremely blurry on the front cover. And it's the wrong.
These came out around the 80s, right?
This came out, well, the original of this came out in 1976.
Okay.
So, this was made by a fan using a very bad laser printer and and Lulu probably. But these are floating. It's okay, nothing wrong with Lulu. But these are floating around. But what my problem is that when somebody says that they're selling it as genuine and they're getting all kinds of money, and then someone who doesn't know on the other end, that's why I had a segment on my podcast called The Most Outrageous Offer. And it's my favorite. It's everybody's favorite because I'll find the stuff that's priced, here's a book that's priced at $8,000, but you can also get it for $450 at the local store. So I'm like, why is it worth that much? And there's nothing different about it. It's not signed by anybody. It's just somebody didn't know what to, or either that or they hit too many zeros on their keyboard. But but yeah, these things are floating around. Sadly, it's just and some of it is collectible. I mean, I have a lot of fanzines in the collection, and some of them from the folks that wrote them. I mean, I knew Jean Airy back in the day. If you don't know that name, she wrote The Doctor and the Enterprise. And if you've ever read that,
we all know that.
Story,
yes, we all know.
I knew Jean very well, and she was extremely upset when New Media published it and said, "Wait, you don't have permission for that." I mean, that's Paramount, that's Lionheart, these are characters that are owned by 4 different companies, and they didn't get any permission for it. And she even wrote to them and said, "Hey, stop these guys," and nobody did anything. So it kept going. So she always, until she passed away, she said, "Just send me an envelope with postage. I'll send it to you for free." And she tried to keep that story, the stories going, and not make it a commercial enterprise. But but those copies, I mean, I've got all the copies of Doctor and the Enterprise, and they're all very interesting. But some of them are completely illegal. But that's just how it goes, But
that happens with a lot of anime fanfics and everything too, and stuff. Yeah,
I'm sure it happens in every line of collecting. There's always something that gets out there that isn't legit, but sometimes it's sought after too for that reason.
Larry, we got a question.
I am so sorry.
This is coming from Rose Kirby. Hey, fine.
Sure.
Hey, question for Larry in the panel. What was your first item you bought at a convention? And if you're still collecting in your late 50s and 60s, what would you collect?
Well, I am in my late 50s, so yeah, still doing it. But I think the first thing I bought, actually, I know the first things I bought at a convention was there was a dealer at the big Chicago convention. His name was John McElroy, and he got the license to do official BBC photographs. And I bought every photograph he had on his table because he didn't want to fly home with them, because he was from London. So I've got those in a photo album. A lot of them are just they're promotional shots, and they've all got the copyright on the back of them as they were. And that's probably the first thing I bought at a convention. The other thing I bought at a convention, the next convention, was a hardcover copy of The Space War, because I'd never seen that in hardcover. And the guy had it for $10, and I said, "I'll take it." And I still have it on the shelf, but it's just, going table to table. I bought some things from the Who shop of London. They were at Chicago TARDIS last year, and I'm still looking around, and
that's a great
seeing
store.
what, it is a wonderful store. Alex and her crew are listeners to my show, which is nice. I got my Doctor Who jackets from them. Wonderful, wonderful people. And I do an event every year at Who North America in Canby, Indiana. And a lot of times, sometimes I'll go, "Hey, you got some stuff here I could use." So it depends. It depends on where my focus is. Usually I focus on where my talks are going to be. Like last year I did toys and games. So I was looking at, what toys don't I have that I can acquire? This year I'm doing Doctor Who in the comics, because somebody had requested that. So I've been looking for these old TV 21s and these old comic books, going back to Doctor Who and the Daleks 66 and all that, and trying to get a complete set of those that I can take on conventions this year. I also did a talk on the evolution of the Dalek in books. And so I put all those Dalek books together and said, what am I missing? Oh, I'm missing this one. So I need to get that one. So that's usually how that goes.
Interesting.
I'm trying to see all the comics they have out, because I bought one at a convention that I actually got the artist to sign and everything, but I can't see it on the list. Like it's the 10th Doctor and Martha one.
Larry, because I have a big ego, can I show you? Can I show you what I have? That you
Sure,
might
of course.
Okay. Well, first of all, Ueldis gave me this, and I was like completely shocked. But I believe, and I think he can authenticate, these are actually the money that was now from the ATM.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like
recognize
stunned that he got that. So yeah, that was the money that was shut out. And these are just these are just some normal. I just wanted to let people know that I know this is weird that this magazine just by itself, but this is Simon Fisher Becker used to work on our show.
Yes,
and unfortunately he passed away in March, this past March last year. And this is the magazine that actually has Simon, mentions him, and it has a memoriam. But it's the only time in Doctor Who magazine where our show was mentioned, because Simon used to work on our show. So that's one that I never leaves the house. I don't know why I've showed this one.
Oh, Amy Pond.
Well, the thing is, here's the story, Larry. This pisses me off to no end. Well, I mean, you have friends that will come out and they'll try to buy you Doctor Who merchandise. And one of my friends, I told him, he goes, "What kind of what kind of merchandise are you looking for?" I said, "Anything but Funko Pops." And he goes, "Why not Funko Pops?" And I said, "They're Pringles. Because once you give me the one, give me the one Funko, I'm going to have 50 of them." I'm almost there, but I'm just like, they sit on my shelf and do nothing, but I gotta have it. But for some reason, I'm being told that this is the most expensive one currently to date.
It is that one. That one's getting harder and harder to find. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Now that they stopped making them, and what else do I have?
The license
I know,
is gone.
I know everybody has this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
I've got
the one I could never get.
The Key to Time.
I got that.
Hardcover
and paperback.
Hardcover and paperback, and
paperback.
Celebration, and
I don't know if you have this one, but this one is not really Doctor Who-ish.
Oh, I've got that. Yeah, I love all that the BBB stuff. Yeah, I've got Zero Imperative. I've got the Arizona Solution.
Are those the VHS tapes you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're not official. And
right, I was actually going to ask you about that earlier when you were talking about because you were talking kind of about counterfeit things, and I did mention bootlegs, but I was also thinking about like unlicensed things, like
Laserdisc.
Doctor Who and the Daleks on Betamax.
Oh my god!
I still have a beta.
There you go. Yeah, that one. I've got all the laser discs, including the UK ones. The only
I never
ones
even thought about Laserdisc.
Let me grab them because they're really fun to see.
I got the cartridge for Star Wars.
You got to take those laser discs and you got to take them off the top of your head and go, information, kill, and just
early happy birthday to Rose.
I know, happy birthday. When is Rose's birthday?
22nd on Thursday.
22nd? Oh, okay. She got 2 days.
I grabbed one here. This is the 5 Doctors on Laserdisc. So this came out in the United States, and the UK had a lot more of them. They had the Ark in Space. They had a few other titles, and then the one that I can't find anywhere. It was only released in Japan. It was the Doctor Who movie, 1996. It was only released in Japan, and that one I've only seen pictures of. But there are a few out there. The media, of course, the original.
Oh, I know about that one. My cousin worked for Fox. Okay. My cousin worked for Fox. He threw them in the garbage.
Are Laserdiscs regional? Are they region coded?
Yes.
Laserdiscs?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And then I have
You need a PAL. You need a PAL Laserdisc player if you want to watch a PAL.
Oh, I guess that's
copy.
true because you got NTSC and PAL. Yeah.
And
Yes.
then the other one,
And CCAM.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
they have
now
and they
we're
have
doing
laser discs. Do you collect a lot of have you seen sort of there's been a resurgence in people collecting VHS? Have you seen that, and is that kind of affecting Doctor Who as well, would you say?
Yeah, especially in the used market, because I see a lot of them come up for sale. I monitor a lot of sales online, and people are selling their VHS collections and getting good money for them because because some of the VHS copies, like for instance, if you want to see the Beatles in the chase, you need the old VHS copy.
Right.
Yes.
That before they took it out, or the Tomb of the Cybermen with the introduction by Morris Berry, and there's of course some of the, and of course even more the on-air recordings. Like for instance, people are looking for the Tom Baker recordings where Howard Da Silva does the introductions that he did for PBS.
Yeah.
And those are
I
getting.
didn't know about. Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, they thought the American audiences were kind of stupid, and so they hired actor Howard Da Silva from 1776 and other things to and the Doctor and Harry are now risking their lives for the
Channel
Cybermen.
21. I used to remember. Yeah.
And they would do these little narrations over it, and it was just I remember watching them on TV, and I thought, wow, okay. And at the end of the show, there'd be a credit for introduced by Howard Da Silva only on those particular episodes. But those episodes are on some special edition DVDs and some of the VHS copies. So it depends on, it depends on the level of fan, I guess. If you want to watch something in its original format, the omnibus Revenge of the Cybermen, that was the first VHS released in this country, is very sought after, and or even the Betamax copies that came out. People just want those because they're very hard to find.
Larry,
Yes,
I
I
don't
knew-
know if he's willing to part with it, but Timescale says he has the '96 Doctor Who movie from Japan.
Oh, he does. That's great. Good for you, man. I've never physically seen one, but that's great.
He
He also has the Japanese
stuff on Japanese VHS.
I know it. I know it exists in Laserdisc in Japan. That was when I did an
I
episode.
he might have it.
But
that's really.
I search every
there.
once in a while. I have a permanent search out there for Laserdiscs, and usually they come up. But that one I have not seen.
Yeah, Akihabara.
How many of those? Sorry, Gadget.
Yeah, I did when he put the post up Akihabara. I forgot. You go there, you find a lot of stuff in Akihabara.
Oh yeah.
How many of the laser discs that you have? I mean, I know there is there is one plant in the Midwest that had a particularly abysmal record for like laser disc getting rot over time and not working. Have you tested all of your laser discs of Doctor Who to see if they're functional? Because I know a lot of them will just not work anymore.
I don't have a player, so I didn't. But the ones I have they look pretty good. I don't know if they play, but
The
if
only
I ever
reason I
come
think it would rot is if they got mildew or something in the process. But yeah.
these of course I one of my sponsors is Bags Unlimited Incorporated, and I've been using them since 1981, and they make these really nice acid-free bags to keep the moisture out and to keep the light out of the the ultraviolet and all that can do that. So I don't know if it still works, but this it's not in its plastic, but it looks like it was barely played. That's
And
but
for
I don't know.
You can find Larry on DoctorWhoCollectors.com. You can also definitely follow him on TikTok at Doctor Who Collectors, I think it is.
Yes.
Yes. And definitely check out his stuff. I mean, some of the incredible merchandise that he brings out here. What is the one item?
Okay.
What is that one item, Larry?
The one item is I have the very first Doctor Who annual signed by William Hartnell.
Damn.
God!
He's on YouTube, Greg. I subscribed.
And I've had it authenticated by at least 3 people. I bought it 35 years ago from a British dealer who says he got it from William Russell. And so he signed a couple of these that just has his name and date.
That's good enough for me. Do we need more?
Right. Yeah.
And the annual itself is in really good shape, but that's probably the one item that I consider, my personal favorite, because obviously he died before I was into Doctor Who, and getting his autograph is, it was easy if you were there. He signed a lot of things, but I guess he signed maybe 5 or 10 of these and just signed and dated them to give away to friends. But most of the time he personalized his autographs, but in this case he just signed a stack of these and then gave them out. And so I believe, as far as I know, the guy I bought it from, this was, and I've had all the stories saying, "Oh, you must have copied that on the internet." I said, I bought this before the internet was even a word.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've had it looked at, and unfortunately, there's no official place out there that can authenticate his autograph anymore because a lot of them are gone. But I have had it compared to actual things. They say, yep, that looks like him. The pen marks are the same. It's faded. It's got the thing, but that's probably the one item. So, and of course, these annuals are a lot of fun. I've got all the annuals, so they're a lot of fun.
But really, nobody can authenticate that book?
There's nobody out there that can authenticate the autograph. His William Hartnell's
Not
autograph.
even that company that comes to the conventions and everything.
I checked with them, and that's not one of the people they can help with. Because I'd be willing to pay a little money to get somebody to give me a thing for.
And they can't find the contracts he signed at BBC to see his signature.
No, but he did sign a bunch of things, and there are some very reputable autograph dealers that have his autograph that you're able to compare at least, and they are very, very, very similar. It doesn't look like anybody would have been able to forge that, especially back when I got it.
Because how bad is his signature? Like,
it's not bad. I mean, you can tell it's his name. I mean, I'll hold it up again and see if you can see it here. But
oh, that's tiny.
Yeah, it's just his name and 1965, and it definitely matches the autograph cards that are commercially available for him. So that's probably the one item I have that, of course, I've got things signed by John Pertwee. I've got 2 doctors' books signed by Colin Baker and Patrick Troughton. And of course, I also one other item I'll just put up here. This is not only the very first Target book; it was probably one of the first Target books out of the box. This book belonged to the late Chris Achilleos and was given to me by his widow Tasha.
Aww.
It's apparently Chris wanted me to have it, and I was just deeply moved by it. It's in absolutely pristine condition. It was sitting on his shelf. He got it from the publisher. It's not signed or anything like that, but they're just with the
first run.
Yeah, and Tasha authenticated it that it's actually from that batch that came out. So the very first Target book that he drew, first book published, probably the first one out of the box, or close to it. The author, the editor, the author, and the cover artist get the first 3 copies.
Wow.
And Gadget, you mentioned the handwriting of William Hartnell. Well, all those guys, when they sign their signatures, they're allowed to write sloppy because they're doctors, and doctors write sloppy. So William Hartnell's allowed to have a sloppy handwriting. Doctors never write well on paper.
Larry, we're coming to the end of our show, but let me go ahead and for those folks, no, thank you. Let me go ahead and let people know that I want to thank everybody who came to Central Florida Comic. There we go. We want to thank everybody who came to Central Florida Comic Con this past weekend. We had a great time. We sold some barbecue sauce out there. And we will be selling it at other conventions as well. But the pictures, there's videos of the Daleks of Florida. Please check them out at facebook.com, facebook.com/FL Daleks. We just had a massively good time out there. And for upcoming, I just saw Tom. Anyway,
that's what I'm like. I'm gonna Sonic him.
As I'm going to upcoming confirmed conventions, we have Space Coast Comic Con taking place June 20th to the 21st at the Wickham Park Community Center in Melbourne, Florida. Get your tickets now. We should be out there. We still don't know if the Daleks will be coming out there. I know at least Hal normally comes out, but we still haven't gotten any confirmation. I'm not exactly sure, but we will definitely be out there June 20th to the 21st, as well as Ancient City Comic-Con taking place in St. Augustine, Florida, September 25th through the 27th. And the Dalek Builders will be out there to interact with, all of them from what I hear. That's taking place at the World Golf Village Renaissance Resort in St. Augustine, Florida. Get your tickets now. Also, don't forget to book your room. It is a fabulous convention, very eclectic, and they've got some stars coming out over there. If anybody is familiar with Star Trek and the podcast that they do, one of them is called the Delta Flyers. It's actually hosted by, I can't think of his name, I keep getting it wrong, but I think it's Robert McNeil Duncan or something like that, Paris, and Garrett Wong. They will be out there. Both of them will be out there, and I'm not sure if they're going to be hosting anything, but they are definitely going to be out there, and they are the heads of the Delta Flyers on the YouTube channel. So Ancient City Con, again, your adventure is waiting September 25th through the 27th. Don't forget to get your tickets now, and don't forget to say the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS has sent you. We want to welcome again. Thank you for Larry coming on. Just Larry, you almost get the final word. Please tell people where they can find you.
Okay, my website is DoctorWhoCollectors.com. We are on all social media outlets, and I'm on TikTok at Doctor Who Collectors, where you can get a complete tour of the Who room and all the collectibles here. That's actually where I got contacted by the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. So thank you so much for reaching out to me.
No, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. And you're
My
always
pleasure.
welcome back.
Thank you. Happy to come back. Anytime.
I think we could do at least a year of episodes just on yours. I mean, we got a year covered by now, and just unless anything happens. So,
absolutely,
this was amazing. Thank you so much. We
Thank
definitely
you.
want to welcome you back. Also, Larry, we want you to lead us out on this. One of the things that we do is, since the passing of Simon, he, like I said, he was one of our panelists. We actually say good night to him. And we would like you to lead us out to say a final goodnight to Simon. And that's his husband, Tony, on the other side, who actually wrote the closing song of our episode. So, or of our show episode. Well, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I can't talk tonight. So, Larry, if you could, with everybody else and everybody in the chats, please say goodnight, Simon. So, Larry, go to it.
Well, I was lucky to have breakfast with Simon a few years ago. So, my friend, good night, Simon.
Good night, Simon.
Good night, Simon.
And Simon.
And Tony, take us out.